and she'd be in it in a second. God love her. Never forget that.
Wow. What was working with Sally feel? I mean, that must have been great.
It was, we didn't pal, the whole time, but if we happened to be chatting and be on the set, and maybe between a quick change of lighting or something like that, I got to know and feel she's wonderful. She's complete. She's not just all one level, which some actors are, just don't talk to me, or that's one kind and stays in character, or one that's trying to do Michael Landon, trying to do jokes every 10 seconds. Jokes and the Larry Hagman spit the peanut butter between the teeth and drop your trowel, or, all the stuff. They just love that. But that keeps an actor who has an emotional scene, keeps you pretty far from home base. But Sally could do it.
Wow.
She did. This pillow is showing.
Did you, no, it looks good. Did you work closely? Like, you talk about like, the rich characters that came and left the cul-de-sac. Like, did you have a lot of scenes? I can't remember, like with Alec Baldwin, like Nicolette,
Alec.
Sheridan.
Julie, Joan, and Alec were I don't even know what the right word, intertwining like nobody's business. He ended up loving her, and this is not possible, but he did it. Loving her more than I did, even because he was there for her. When she died, he couldn't make it to her service in New York at the St. James Theater, I believe it was. It was with Christopher Plummer. I was sandwiched between Zoe Caldwell and Christopher Plummer. I was the second speaker after Christopher Plummer was first, because she loved him. She had a crush on him, and they were close. But bottom line is, Alec, Julie, and Joan was a trio and a bond, and I'm dying for Alec. I'm dying for him. I just can't believe this whole, and I know him because all he cared about, which is probably why I loved him so deeply, and we've stayed in touch ever since Knots. And all through the wonderfulness he's done, and whatever and wherever I am, we have continued that. But I know how deep he goes and how much it matters, the work. So I can understand how whatever this was, or however they determine it was, I see where and he was one of the producers of the movie Rust. So my heart, I'm dying, because it's the prop master, or there's an armor, I don't know the French word, or so, armory, or it has to do with the guns. It was a young girl who was like her second or third time, if that, being in that position, because they had everybody doubling up on their duties. Somebody slipped before Alec, if, and I say and stress that, there was in fact a bullet in there, because for the rest of his life, and it's unknown at this point what the future is for him, because we don't know how this will all play out. But I love him. I pray for him. We all wish there would, not we all, because there's a division on this, but pray that everything works out okay. I love this man as I loved Julie, and we three. I have a picture downstairs I adore. I wish I could grab it after and show you. It's Joan, Alec, and Julie. Julie's on one side of Alec, I'm on the other, at Sardi's. And there was a dedication one night and a whole show about Julie, the magnificence of Julie Harris. And it was at Sardi's, and both Alec and I spoke. And we're walking into the thing and we're laughing our heads off, all three of us. And I treasure it. It's down in the kitchen where I finally calmed down at the end of the day in a little frame. And I love this so much. And it's the unification of an actor or three actors and three people, Joan, Alec, Julie, not in that order. Just we're one when we're together.
Wow.
Together.
And right, he is going, I mean, I don't know how this is all going to play out. Like if it's
what
going
do
to
you
affect.
think? Do you have any thoughts at all?
I mean, I feel like sometimes I skip over it when I see, you know what I mean? So I'm not, but I mean, I know they're now talking about official like charges and what's going to, and like, I don't know if this is going to affect his career. Like forget about the legal, like, let's just say
So
you're
that's all I'm
legally,
talking about too.
yeah.
Acting is his food, as it is mine. There's some people that need the food. That's why I've fallen apart during COVID, because it's something you just do. It's like brushing your teeth. And when it's taken from you and you're sort of housebound initially, as we all were, and all the claustrophobia for a Gemini is very difficult for me, and I'm sure you, because
Yes.
there's no air, there's no freedom. I think Geminis need freedom and space when they need it. And they then fill with that, and then they're the best person for you. They're the best person for you.
I
Which you,
would I would agree with all of that. Geminis definitely need freedom. That is an
freedom
understatement.
is the word I keep when I'm running. I do my best thinking, and always that word is the one that pops into my brain. It's freedom. And I've been, but we've all been denied different levels of freedom, and some intensely. And God bless the poor people who, in fact, had to go through this in a hospital, some who didn't make it out, and families who are suffering from that. That's gigantic. And talk about freedom, it's the antithesis. It's silence. No, no, never.
It's not good, and that's, yes, but to your point about Alec Baldwin too, I mean, we'll see what happens with his career. I don't know. I mean, I think this
I
could
can't
affect it, right?
I can't think that it wouldn't affect it. I think because, and he, I'm sure, knows it, feels that. It certainly is consumed with that periodically, if not always. God love him, and he does.
What about, did you work closely with Nicolette Sheridan when she was on?
Nicolette was the most gorgeous cyclone, sort of to herself, and I think remains such because there's been stuff since. Donna, Michelle, and I have had dinner and will have dinner upcoming with Mark Cherry, who produced Desperate
Desperate
Housewives.
Housewives.
And there are elements there I don't know. I think she is so gorgeous, and I tried to steal, when Knots did wrap, all her clothes because we were the same size 2 or 4. I think it was 2, because 2 was, so she was a 2 and so was I a 2. And I would rifle through whenever I had a really important interview. The wardrobe would loan me some of her stuff to wear because it was so hot and so fabulous. So she had all that at her access, and a very different character from all the rest. Very different.
Well, when you guys have dinner with Mark Cherry, why don't you say, hey, Mark, let's
We
get
did. We have, because